Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Mind Map. Today's topic of discussion is climate change. First of all, we will discuss about the introduction of the topic. Then we will discuss about the causes of climate change, its effects, climate change in India and preventive measures taken, and lastly, India in the international forums on climate change. First of all, moving on to the introduction of the topic. Climate change refers to long-term shifts in temperatures and weather patterns. These shifts may be natural, such as true variations in the solar cycle. But since the 1800s, human activities have been the main driver of climate change, primarily due to burning fossil fuels like coal, oil, and gas. Carbon dioxide and methane are two prominent greenhouse gas emissions that are contributing to climate change. Increasing temperatures caused by climate change are accelerating the melting of ice, which raises sea levels and leads to flooding and erosion. Now moving on to causes of climate change. Numerous human-made activities damage the ecosystem. Among the most significant are, first, power production. A significant amount of global emissions are caused by the burning of fossil fuels for electricity and heat. The majority of power is still generated by burning coal, oil, or gas, which generates carbon dioxide and nitrous oxide. Second is deforestation. Deforestation, along with agriculture and other changes in land use, is to blame for a portion of the global greenhouse gas emissions. Emissions are also increased by clearing trees to create space for ranches, pastures, and other uses. Cutting or destroying trees decreases nature's ability to absorb emissions because forests absorb carbon dioxide. Third is transportation. Machines used in transportation are often powered by fossil fuels. As a result, the transportation industry has a significant impact on greenhouse gas emissions, particularly carbon dioxide emissions. Statistics also indicate a large increase in energy demand for transportation during the following several years. Next is food production. In addition to deforestation and clearing land for farming and grazing, the creation and use of fertilizers and manure, as well as the usage of electricity to drive agricultural equipment or fishing boats, usually with fossil fuels, all contribute to the production of food and building energy. Residential and commercial buildings consume more than half of the electricity used worldwide. Rising energy use in buildings boost CO2 emissions from appliances. Now moving on to effects of climate change. Climate change have devastating impacts on us and the environment. The major effects are, first is increase in temperature. The global surface temperature rises together with greenhouse gas concentrations. Higher temperatures worsen heat-related illnesses and make it more challenging to work outside. Frequent drought. Water availability is changing due to climate change, becoming more scarce in many places. In already water-stretched areas, global warming makes water shortages worse. It also increases the danger of ecological and agricultural droughts, which can harm crops and make ecosystems more vulnerable. Third is warming and rising ocean. The ocean absorbs carbon dioxide, keeping it out of the atmosphere. However, additional carbon dioxide causes the water to become more acidic, endangering coral reefs and marine life. Sea levels increase as a result of ice sheet melting, endangering coastal and island communities. Loss of species. Both animals on land and in the ocean are at risk from climate change. As the temperatures rise, these risks rise as well. Threats from climate change include invasive pests and illnesses, forest fires, and harsh weather. Next is food scarcity. Global hunger and poor nutrition are on the rise for a variety of reasons, including climate change. Marine resources that provide food for billions of people are in danger as a result of the ocean's increasing acidity. And health hazards. The single greatest hazard to human health is climate change. Air pollution, sickness, harsh weather, forced relocation, stress on mental health, increasing hunger are a few health effects of climate change. Now let's discuss about climate change in India and preventive measures taken. India, as the world's third largest economy and fifth largest greenhouse gas emitter, contributes about 5% to global emissions. From 1990 to 2005, India's emissions surged by 65%, with an expected increase of another 70% by 2020. India is advancing climate efforts with significant investments in renewables, a $3 billion clean energy fund, and a solar mission expansion to 1 lakh megawatts, cutting CO2 emissions by 165 million tons annually. Additionally, India is investing $6 billion in intensive afforestation efforts to create more carbon sinks and has earmarked approximately $200 million for the National Adaptation Fund. India's $1.2 billion 100 Smart Cities project targets climate resilience and energy efficiency in cities, enforces cement industry norms, cleans the Ganga River, and protects coastal, Himalayan, and forest regions. Now lastly, let's discuss about India in the international forums on climate change. India plays a pivotal role in international climate change forums, emphasizing the need for global collaboration to address environmental challenges. In forums such as the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change and its Conference of the Parties, India has consistently pushed for the interest of developing nations. India's contributions to International Climate Initiative also include its leadership in the International Solar Alliance, co-founded with France during COP21 in Paris. Furthermore, India is part of the Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure, which seeks to promote the resilience of new and existing infrastructure systems to climate and disaster risk through these actions and its active participation in international climate negotiations. Now it's time for the practice questions. First of all, prelims-based question. What is Rio 2020 conference often mentioned in the news? It is the United Nations Conference on Sustainable Development. It is a ministerial meeting of the World Trade Organization. It is a conference of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, or it is a conference of the member countries of the Convention on Biological Diversity. And now mains practice question. Climate change is a global problem. How will India be affected by climate change? How Himalayan and coastal states of India will be affected by climate change? So that's all for today. Stay tuned for the next episode. Thanks for watching. For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.